Welcome everyone, I'm Obi.
And I'm Sobi, and today we're going to be discussing and giving our first impressions on a new survival crafter, Core Keeper.
Hey, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all of our weekly content, where we do reviews and discuss games similar to Core Keeper, and just really anything that captures our attention. With that out of the way, let's jump in.
So to start out, how would you describe Core Keeper?
Core Keeper, it's a fairly simple game. It's a mixture of the style and look of something like Stardew Valley and Terraria, mixed with like more gameplay similar to something that you would see in like Minecraft. It is asymmetric, but it does have more crafting and building options than something like Stardew Valley does. And then also you're not really on like a schedule like Stardew Valley at all. It's kind of open. You're free to explore and go do things. You don't have to worry about having anything done at a specific time, which is kind of nice. So you don't really feel like you're being forced to do anything. It's just kind of up to your own standards and what you kind of want to do.
Yeah, I love this style of game. It's very at your own pace and very leisurely, very relaxing game. I thought Stardew Valley was a very relaxing game. I do have to say, maybe we can come back to what you had just said, like with the no timetable, no schedule kind of thing. It worries me a little bit for like once you get through the storyline, is there going to be replayability to this game?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Now, the game is in early access. We've only really kind of delved into it a little bit. Again, this is kind of like a first impression. So like we haven't seen the full game. We've played it for just a little bit. And these are just kind of like our opening thoughts on it for the most part. But from what we have seen of the game, while it's an open game, the actual like driving force and like what story there is kind of linear. So with that being said, there is that, well, what are we going to do once we get through that bit of story? With Stardew, there are other factors in the game that kind of keep you playing and keep you going after like you've kind of done everything for the most part. But with this game, I don't know if there is anything that's going to keep me like once I finish. And again, we're not trying to like really give any like major spoilers, but like once I finish like the story arc, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily continue playing the game at all. But the game is fun. I definitely want to start out by saying the game is fun.
Game is definitely fun. So as far as like it goes for the game, crafting is pretty simple, but it is rewarding. So like you feel the impact of your craft. Like, if you're able to like go and, you upgrade from a wooden pick to a copper pick, you definitely feel that upgrade. Farming is kind of the same way, except for farming is really, really simple. Whereas in like other games like Stardew Valley and like some other games that are in that same kind of genre, the farming is kind of put more on a pedestal than what it is in this game. And I kind of like that, but then again, at the same time, I'm kind of wary of it. So it's there, but it's just not a very big impact.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on that one. The farming is overly simplified. And again, I don't want you guys to be discouraged about any of these. These are just kind of like some of the thoughts, some of the goods, the positives, the negatives that we're having. But like as far as the farming goes, you plant something and then you only have to water it one time and then you just walk away from it and forget about it until you come back from your escapades running around in the caves, because this game is completely based underground. I do want to say that, like, you're not going to be above ground at all. It's all underground. However, you go and you run away, run around, do whatever you need to do, and you come back in, like, the crops grow, and they grow fairly quick. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've planted something and then I do something around my like base. I put up a few walls and come back and it's already grown. So yeah, farming, like you said, farming is not really put up on a pedestal like it is in other games in a similar genre.
And much like Stardew Valley, there is fishing in the game, so that's actually pretty fun. It'll definitely take up a lot of time to kind of get the rhythm down of it. I've messed with it a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I am not the greatest. The rhythm is kind of hard. I've noticed that just from what I've done, there's kind of a simple like back and forth almost to it. So basically you'll cast, and then once you get a fish, the fish is going to pull and you have to wait until it's not pulling anymore, and then you can pull it. So it's a very simple kind of fishing design, but definitely one that is going to keep me like enthralled for a little bit just to be able to try to catch a fish.
And then also with fishing, cooking is actually a pretty big aspect in the game as well. So as you find different ingredients and as you farm stuff, kill different things, fish, they all drop different things that you can actually combine together. One example that actually works really well is you can find these glow tulips tulips, and if you cook those with another ingredient and then eat those, they actually like provide light. They actually light your character up for like a short period of time, which actually goes back to what we were saying about the darkness in the game. And the game is very dark, and they really drive the fact that, again, you are in a cave.
Yeah, so again, the overall atmosphere of it is like they really do a really good job of setting the tone for the game and the atmosphere. You know, this is completely underground. You know, again, when you start the game, it's completely dark. You're in some sort of like cave system, something along those lines. And by cave system, you have to tunnel it all out. So this game really pushes you to explore, and it really pushes you to kind of go and, you know, go out and get whatever you can to try to upgrade yourself. So that way, you know, you're more defended or anything, so you can kind of adapt to whatever this situation is that you've found yourself in.
I actually really like the way that they've actually kind of implemented the map in this game, where you kind of start out in the center of the map and you kind of push your way out. I like how the progression system works with exploring. So like the further out you go from that center tile, things start to change, things get difficult, but as far as like exploration goes, I do like the fact that like as you explore and you're like finding new areas, there are like little things kind of sprinkled about that like will capture your attention, and you're like, oh, what's this? Like I feel like the more I play it, I'm constantly finding newer things to like grab my attention, and I actually really like that. It doesn't feel like I'm just kind of constantly exploring the same area.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a couple of different biomes to the game that we've already found that we've, you know, because again, we haven't played it for very long, but we have kind of sunk our teeth into it enough where we're able to kind of give you our first impression of it. And as far as that goes, that does kind of keep you pushing forward and going there, because you're like, oh, well, what's in this area? But along the way, you know, as you're finding, you know, different materials that you might need or anything like that to really keep upgrading yourself, there's sort of like little caches, basically. There's like little like, oh, hey, there's, you know, 5 or 6 boxes over here. You know, what's in them? You know, so you go over there and you explore that, and then, you know, it just kind of keeps pushing you out away from, you know, your safety net, which is, you know, the base and everything like that, or where you find yourself in this game. So I like that for the exploration type. As far as it goes, you know, the game does look really nice. It has a pretty decent art design. It's all, you know, they did what they could with being all underground. I think that's actually pretty creative as far as it goes for other games that are in this genre. I think it's pretty creative that they have you underground, and they kind of really latch onto that, like, you know, like, hey, you are underground kind of feeling with the sounds and everything else that are in the game as well. It really just kind of sets the atmosphere, and it really does a really good job with that.
As far as like sound design goes, sound design in this game is actually pretty spot on. Like when you're near water, you can hear like the water kind of running or moving. You like hear drops, you know, from like the ceiling and stuff. And that's really, really awesome as far as that goes. I would say that the soundtrack actually really captured my attention. So if you guys are fans of games like Zelda for like the NES or Super Metroid, and you guys are familiar with those soundtracks, there are actually a couple different songs in this game that are very, very similar to those, like specifically. So it's kind of strange because it has more of like the Metroid feel with like a Zelda backing, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, the game is on Steam. It's I think right now it's only like $13 or something. If you guys are interested in it whatsoever, or interested in this kind of genre of game, I would definitely recommend for you to check it out. We are still going to be playing more of it. We did recently just do a stream of it on our Twitch channel. If you guys haven't, link is down in the description. Overall, as far as my thoughts on the game go, if this is the kind of style that you like, this is definitely a buy.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely recommend this game to anyone that enjoys either like farming sims or any kind of survival game or exploration games. It does have, you know, some pretty simplistic creative aspects to it, and I hope they work on that. And that is something. This game is in early access, guys, so like they are going to be adding more to the game, which I'm excited about. I'm very excited to see what they do in the future with this game. With that being said, guys, we are planning on doing a full review on this game, so stay tuned. If you guys haven't subscribed already, be sure to do that, so that way when this full review comes out, you guys can catch that if you're still a little on the fence about purchasing the game. Also, we do plan on playing this a little bit more on Twitch, so if you guys are interested in that, come hang out with us on Twitch, where we play games like Core Keepers, 7 Days to Die, Phasmophobia, you know, all kinds of different games. Come hang out with us. We'd love to see you there.
And if you've already played the game, what are your thoughts on it? Do you have anything that you'd like to see them add add into the game? Is there anything that you're very upset about that is already in the game that you don't like? Let us know down in the comments.
But until next time, this is Obi.
This is Obi.
Signing out.
See you guys next time.